Hey, my name's Allie, and this is my video for our discussion board over the creative process. The creative process is really what's going to help you go from what I have shown in this upper right hand corner. It's starting and just having a jumbled mess of thoughts and struggling to find an end product. But the creative process is going to make you go from this to having a well-structured and thought-out path to get from your idea all the way to your end product. The creative process has 5 steps. The first one is to empathize, the second to define, the third one is ideate, the fourth is to prototype, and the fifth and final step is to test. The first step is to empathize. This is going to be your initial meeting with your clients, where you're going to sit down and discuss their ideal clients, their dream clients, who they currently target as a clientele. They're going to ask any questions they have, as well as we as the designers will, to see what they're wanting out of our services. I think it's really important to focus on what products you're going to be required to give them at the end, and what they're actually looking to receive for the services, and what goals they have for their business. The second step is to define. This is where I think the creative brief comes into play. I think the initial first step is where you get all the information for the creative brief. So I think it could go for the first and second step, but it's important throughout all of them. Which I think the define step is more of to put all your ideas together and getting all the information into one space so you can work more efficiently. The third step is ideate. This is my favorite step because I love the mood boards and figuring out how a brand should look and feel and how to attract the right clients. I was really intrigued by all the videos we watched this week. But it says that this step is where you get all of your ideas together from that creative brief and everything you've thought of, from the logos to the fonts to the color scheme you want to use and different words you might use to target that specific audience. You're going to really utilize that creative brief to make sure you're following all the guidelines that the client gave you to create this brand identity for them. This is like a lot of brainstorming, and the end product generally is a mood board or the stylescapes we saw in the other video, which I personally like more than the mood boards after seeing them. The fourth step is prototype. This is, I think, what kind of makes the whole creative part of it, because this is where you take all your ideas from this ideate stage and start prototyping and putting all these sketches into digital platforms like we're learning with Photoshop and Illustrator. So you're going to use that mood board and stylescape as a base to add to these designs, because even like we're doing in all of our classes where I feel like whenever I do a digital design, I tweak what I did from the hand sketch. You make the lines smoother, you might choose different colors. But this is really important that we follow the branding guidelines and the styles of what this brand is wanting to attract. And something I really took from the lessons was that this is going from a vision to a product. So I'm like, this is the first time that some of these companies may have ever had a product and a name and a face. And which leads you to the final step, which is testing, which I chose this picture because I feel like they're all looking at this monitor, which could have all the documents and designs you've completed. This is the step where you get feedback from your other teammates or even the client most of the time. And so this is where you ask the questions of, did you follow the design brief well? Did you capture what the brand is trying to say? And you're going to get feedback, and you might have to go back and edit, which is why all these steps need to be able to be redone and changed. And once all of this is done, you can finally package up all the files and send it to your customer. And I think that is it for this one. That was the creative brief. and how all the steps that we're going to follow doing it. Thank you.